Hello and welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Cigars. My name is Javier Cobus and you are watching The Lounge. A coffee banana chocolate milkshake. Apart from the fact that it's a really light cigar, in terms of smell, leather couches, wood walls, getting a little bit of sweet, but of course it would not be complete without the coffee. So let's go ahead and taste that. Alright, so before we get into the cigar review, I want to give a quick shout out to Gables Cigars again for sponsoring and facilitating this episode. Also to Alec Bradley, we finally got them in over at IPCPR. The cigar convention is in Las Vegas. And so today, in honor of getting their cigars in, we are smoking the Tempus Natural. It's this cigar right here. We're going to pair it with coffee, as we usually do. On Mondays, coffee and cigars. We're going to go ahead and try that. Alright, so before we even start puffing on the cigar, let's go ahead and look at its sight. Color-wise, it's darker brown. Kind of reminds me of like maple. Leather jacket, or like a roasted peanut. Roasted Javi after the last video. The label looks very royal. Lots of gold. Just says Tempus Natural, Alec Bradley. Size-wise, I'm pretty sure it's a Toro. The label looks very prestigious. I kind of see myself maybe smoking this at brunch, depending if it goes good with the coffee or not. Alright, now let's move on to smell. Very bold, slight spice on the nose. Lots of wood at first. Definitely getting like sweetness from it. It smells dark, kind of like right before you would start a bonfire, throwing all the woods, old leaves, all this old foliage, and then roasting marshmallows, maybe that essence of it, all these snacks, campfire, bonfire. I kind of see this when I'm smelling it. So on site, I said maybe like brunch if it goes good with coffee, but I'm sensing that this would go really good by the bonfire with some hot chocolate, not gonna lie. Alright, that pretty much sums up the smell. Let's move on to taste. Toasting the edges as usual. No spice whatsoever off the first puff. Initial thoughts. This is not what I was expecting at all. I was expecting a lot more spice. Flavor-wise, it's spot on. I'm getting a lot of wood notes. It's sharp. Dark chocolate. A little bit of bitterness. But not spice. Bitter. Like dark chocolate. Off smell, I thought this would go really well with hot chocolate, and now as I'm smoking the cigar, I think it's going to go very good with hot chocolate as well. And just, off the top of my head, because it's kind of dark chocolate bitterness, I think it'll mix very well with the coffee that we're going to try now. Lots of wood, lots of sweetness, and very bitter, just on the very back of my tongue. And from what it looks like, it's burning very evenly as well. Alright, let's go ahead and taste the coffee now. It smells like coffee, bro. Elevated. Very piney, herby. You're camping on the side of a mountain somewhere in Northwest America. There's lots of pine trees around you, lots of cliffs. You're looking out and you look at the stars. And that's what this combination tastes like. You're bringing out a lot more pine, small, thick foliage. The bitterness is kind of like a mountain dirt, high altitude. The cigar by itself was very down to level earth. Drinking the coffee and then smoking it kind of expanded that. And just the flavor takes all over, but it seems a lot thinner. And that's why I'm relating it to climbing a mountain, because at the top of the mountain there's very thin air. And I think we are ready to rate it. So the second episode of Season 2 on the Lounge is Coffee and Cigars. Today, the Natural Tempus by Alec Bradley. I'm going to give this one an 8.9. That's right, I think this one completely trumps the Flor de Selva Maduro. Let's take a look here. Yep, the last score was a 8.8 by Flor de Selva Maduro, and I really enjoyed this cigar pairing. I really enjoyed the combination, and so for that reason, I'm going to have to give it an 8.9. Either way, thank you guys for staying tuned to the end of this episode. If you like what we had to say and you want to see more, please go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to this on the podcast, please go ahead and favorite our station. I think that's what it's called. Thank you to Gables Cigars again for hosting and facilitating the creation of this episode. Remember to go follow them on Instagram at Gables Cigars. Follow us at thelounge.media. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow for Let's Talk Tuesday.